Dear children, today we will discuss about water. Water is a very precious resource. We can't live without water. Water is used in different activities. As you know that two-thirds or 71% of Earth's surface is covered with water. Most of the water is in ocean and sea. The water in the ocean and seas have many salts dissolved in it that makes it saline. So it is not fit for drinking and other domestic agriculture needs. Only a small fraction available on the earth is fit for use of plants, animals and humans. So we must conserve water. Dear children, do you have an idea about the quantity of water we use in a single day? Because we use water in different activities. To understand this, how much water do we use? Let's do one activity. List all the activities for which you use water in a day. Some activities are listed in the given table. Make a similar table in your notebook. Throughout the day, measure the amount of water used by each activity by you and other family members. You may use a mug, a glass, a bucket or any other container to measure the amount of water used. By filling this table, you have a rough idea as to how much water your family use in a day in different activities. According to WHO, a person needs 50 liter water, that is about 2.5 bucket water in a day for different activities. Dear children, we use water in different activities. You just watch this picture. We use water for drinking purpose, for the preparation of food, for bathing, for cleaning and washing. It is also used in different industries, for irrigation, for construction work, and it is also used for production of electricity. Now dear children, now the question is, where do we get water from? Where do you get this water? Some of you may say we draw water from a river, spring, pond, well or a hand pump. Some others might say we get water from taps. Have you ever wondered where water in the taps comes from? Water that we get from taps is also drawn from a lake or a river or a well. It is then supplied through a network of pipes. These sources of waters are rainfall, rivers, lakes, ponds, ocean and sea, groundwater. For most of the work we use groundwater. It is obtained through wells, hand pumps, bore wells, tube wells, etc. Rainfall is the ultimate source of water. Dear children, you might have observed that you notice that water spilled on a floor dries up water after some time. The water seems to disappear. Similarly, water disappears from wet cloths as they dry up. Water from wet roads, rooftop and also disappears after the rain. After mopping the floor, it dries up. When we sprinkle water over, it also disappears. Where does this water actually go? Actually, this water evaporated by getting heat. To understand this process, we will do one. Take two similar plates, place one of the plates in sunlight and keep the other under shade. Now pour equal amount of water in each of the plates. You can use a cap of a bottle to measure water. Make sure that water does not spill over. Observe the two plates after every 15 minutes. Does the water seems to disappear? From which plate does it disappear first? What is the source of heat for this evaporation? Actually, during the daytime, sunlight falls on the water in ocean, rivers, lakes and ponds. In the same way, this is a result, water from all these places continuously changes into vapor, and this process is known as evaporation process. In this activity, that water also disappears from the plates kept in the shade. Now you observe this activity. We kept the bowl which is in sunlight, and after you observe we get less water. Means the evaporation takes place fastly in that bowl which is kept in sunlight, whereas the evaporation takes place slowly in that bowl which is kept in shade. On heating also, you will observe that the water kept in sunlight evaporate fastly, whereas the water kept in shade evaporate slowly. The process of conversion of water into water vapor is called evaporation, which we have observed by the activity. Dear children, a lots of water is also lost by plants. Loss of water also takes by plants. Loss of water in form of water vapor from the surface of leaves is called transpiration. Both transpiration and evaporation contribute in the formation of clouds leading to rainfall. So we should must plant more and more trees. Dear children, the another process is very important, that is condensation process. The conversion of the water vapor into water droplet on cooling, it is known as condensation, which you might have observed so many times in appearance of dew over the leaves during winter, appearance of fog during winters. To understand this process, let's watch this video. Children, we will discuss about the cloud formation. Before we understand the cloud formation, we will do some activity. As you know, this is for this activity we will take a dry glass. You can see. Now we will pour some water. Then we add some ice cube. Now leave it this glass tumbler for a few minutes. Then we will observe another thing which is related to this process. All of you are aware, now this is summer season and you use cold drinks. You just see some water droplet outside the cold drink bottle. In the same way, if you brought some vegetable, I have some vegetables, you just see some, I dry it, and again other vegetables also, you see some water droplets outside the vegetable surface like this. I have another bottle, that is, it is a sauce bottle. You also observe some water droplets outside the bottle. In the same way, you can also observe some water droplets outside the glass tumbler. Now the question is, where does these water droplets come from? Is it come from inside the bottle or from other place? As you know, children, this surface is a cooler surface. And you know that the water vapor is present in our atmosphere. Water present in our atmosphere condenses on the surface of this cooler surface of the glass tumbler, which takes place in this bottle also and this vegetable also. So, then this water droplets condenses on the surface of the glass tumbler, which we see in the form of water droplets. This process is known as condensation, and it also takes place in the cloud formation. The process of conversion of water vapor into water droplets on cooling, so this process is known as condensation process. So this condensation process is very helpful or take part a great role in the formation of cloud. The process of evaporation and condensation plays an important role in bringing water back to the surface of the earth. Now, watch this video and understand how the cloud is formed. Dear children, we can understand the process of formation of cloud by doing this simple activity. As you know, this is vaporizer, and we just heat the vaporizer. There is water in it, and you just see the vapor comes out. Just it happened in simply in cloud formation. When I keep this plate just above the vaporizer, I am just collecting the vapors. You just see the vapor is on the surface of this plate. Now, just I want to put some ice cube. You just see this vapor comes out, it condenses on the surface of the plate. I'm just showing you. You see that water droplet is also coming down. Actually, the process of evaporation and condensation plays an important role in the bringing water back to the surface of the earth. As we know, as we go higher from the surface of the earth, it gets cooler in, and the air moves up, it gets cooler and cooler, which you just see, which takes place in our atmosphere. And this water vapor present in our atmosphere condenses to form water droplets, and it is these tiny droplets that remain floating in the air in the form of cloud, which appear white clouds in our atmosphere. When these tiny droplets combine together and form the bigger droplets, it's come on the land surface in the form of water, rain, hail or snow. And this circulation is continuous, which is, we know that, water cycle. So by this activity, you can understand the process of how the cloud is formed in our nature and the atmosphere. Okay? We know that water brought back to the surface of the earth by rain, hail or snow goes back to ocean. Thus, water from the ocean and surface of the earth goes into air as vapor, returned as rain, hail or snow, and finally goes back to the ocean. The circulation of water in this manner is known as water cycle. Now, watch this video and understand the process of water cycle.
Our topic for today is water cycle. The sun heats up the water from oceans, lakes and rivers, and water changes into water vapor by the process of evaporation. Plants also lose water in the form of water vapor from their leaves into the air by the process of transpiration. As the water vapor rises up into the air, it starts cooling down and forms tiny water droplets. These water droplets come together to form clouds. This process is called condensation. When the clouds start getting heavy and cannot hold the water droplets anymore, they fall back to the earth in the form of rain, hail, or snow. This process is called precipitation. Some of the water that falls on the earth seeps into the ground. This water is available to us in the form of groundwater. The remaining water falls back into oceans, lakes, rivers, and seas. This process is called collection. Then the sun starts heating up this water once again. This circulation of water is called water cycle.
Dear children, water cycle is very important. As water cycle maintains the supply of water on land, it also maintains the temperature of the earth. Dear children, you just observe this picture. What if it rains heavily? The time duration and the amount of rainfall varies from place to place. In some parts of the world, it rains throughout the year, while there are places where it rains only for a few days. In our country, most of the rainfall occurs during the monsoon season. However, excess of rainfall What will happen if there is excess of rainfall? Excessive rains is harmful for us. How? Excessive rains may cause flood. This may rise in the level of water in lakes, ponds and rivers. Crop filled villages, cities may get submerged by water. Flood causes extensive damage to crops, domestic animals, property and human lives. Dear children, again you see these pictures and observe. Can you imagine what would happen if it does not rain in a region for a year or more? You just see the soil continues to lose water by evaporation and transpiration. Since it is not being brought back by rain, the soil becomes dry. The level of water in ponds and wells of the region goes down and some of them may even dry up. The groundwater may also become source. This may lead to drought. The drought condition, it is difficult to get food and fodder. You might have heard about droughts occurring in some parts of our country and other part of the world also. The life become difficult in such condition. Dear children, as you know, water is a very precious resource. So, how can we conserve water? We know that only a small fraction of water available on the earth is fit for use of plants and animal and human. Most of the water is in the ocean and it cannot be used directly. When the level of the groundwater decreases drastically, this cannot be used anymore. The total amount of water on earth remains the same, but the water available for use is very limited and is decreasing with our uses. The demand for water is increasing day by day. The number of people using water is increasing with rising population. In many cities, long queues for collection of water are a common sight. So that we have to conserve water. We can conserve the water in the following ways. Children, turn off taps during washing your hands and brushing. Mop the floor instead of washing. Used water can be used again to water the plants. Use mug and buckets for bathing instead of taking showers. Water should be used economically. Rainwater harvesting should be done. We should use modern techniques of irrigation like drip irrigation system and sprinkler system. Rainwater harvesting is a very good conservation to conserve the water. Actually, by this we can conserve or use the rainwater. So, to understand the rainwater harvesting, we can understand in better way by seeing this video.
About two-thirds of Earth's surface is covered with water. However, the amount of usable water is very small. The growing population, growing industries, and agricultural practices need lot of water. The huge consumption of water is causing reduction of available water. We need to think about variety of ways to save and conserve our water resource. One of the very important preventive measure for conservation is rainwater harvesting. Basically, water come on the surface with rain. However, it gets collected in rivers which ultimately flows into the ocean, which means that the usable water is lost in the ocean. We can catch the rainwater and prevent it from flowing into the ocean. This is rainwater harvesting. There are two methods which we can use for this purpose. Rooftop rainwater harvesting. During raining, rainwater gets collected in rooftop. It can be transferred to a storage tank through a pipe. Often the water contains soil particles and other impurities. In such case, water should be filtered to remove these impurities. Water stored in the storage tank can be used to fulfill our water needs.
Instead of storage tank, water can also be transferred to a pit in the ground from where it seeps into the soil. The seeped water get added to groundwater and so the level of groundwater increases. In both ways, we prevent water from flowing away. Roadside drains. Rainwater falling on roads get collected in the drains. The drains can be modified so that water entering in them gets seeped directly into the soil, or this water can be collected in storage structures such as well. So I hope you understood this video very well.
Dear children, as you know, water is a very precious resource. We can't live without water, so we must save water and we must use the water economically because जल ही जीवन है and जल है तो कल है. I hope, dear children, you will understand the whole lesson. Now there are some important terms and definition. Clouds. It is a mass of small droplets of water or ice crystals that floats in the air. Condensation. It is the process of conversion of water vapors into water on cooling. Drought. It is the dry situation created in a particular region when there is no rainfall for a long period. Evaporation. It is the process of conversion of liquid vapor into water vapor. Flood. It is the situation of overflowing of water into rivers, lakes, ponds due to heavy rain. Groundwater. The water present inside the earth is called groundwater. Hail. Small pellets or ice falling from the cloud is called hail. Snow. Frozen vapor falling from the sky in the form of flakes are called snow. Transpiration. The process of loss of water from plants in the form of water vapors is called transpiration. Water vapors. Water in a vapor form is called water vapor. Water cycle. The circulation of the earth's water in which water from the sea, ocean evaporates and form clouds, fall as a rain or snow and returns to the ocean by river is called water cycle. Dear children, we must have save water because water is a very precious resource because jal hai to kal hai. So save every drop of water.